Good evening. I am your host, Johnson McGain. I played Hunter on Sajon Block and hey Hunter and Sajon Block, sorry. Happy Friday night, happy Friday evening. Welcome back to this episode of Sajon Block Marathon Madness Season 8, Episode 6. This Savage is not a Studier. And then Season 8, Episode 42, Fun Day Friday number 1. Okay, let's go back a little bit to Season 8, Episode 6. This Savage is not a studier. Remember, this is 11th grade now. Uh, okay. So this episode is a Friday. This starts out getting breakfast. And then this is a Hartman. Every day is a Hartman day. He gets on the bus. He gets to Hartman. This is an early childhood day. Um, and this is the last Friday, actually, before preschool begins. Before Hunter becomes an official preschool teacher with the early childhood program. Um, So this Friday they basically just talk about what to expect for the first day, the first week, the preschool expectations, all of that. They prepare and plan, and then they have their break, 20-minute break, and then after that, the second half class is they have a lesson, they have an activity, assignment, and then another lesson, blah blah blah. And then at the end of the period, they begin to do their lesson plans for the first week. The first lesson plans, which we already seen the first day of preschool already episode. But this is them preparing for that. Then the bell rings, and then he gets to the high school. They have their study hall, and then they have their Brotherhood lunch, Pizza Friday, Cookie Friday. It was a good day, chips. Um, so it was a great day, a great Friday. However, he has a test coming up, and he's not very good. He didn't study very much. This Savage is not a studier, but we'll get to that in a moment. But after lunch, he goes to science, Mr. Mindock, Mr. Miller. They do their bell work, and then they have their lesson and the activity. And um, then here we go. Doom, doom, doom. He didn't study. The Savage is not a studier. Me personally, my character has never been a studier. I'm still not a studier. Tests were awful for me throughout school and for my character. And here we go. It's Algebra 2. The test is for Algebra 2. The worst subject for Hunter. The hardest subject for Hunter. Tests for math are always hard. But luckily he has Miss Oswald, and she's there to help him with the test, but limited. So he takes the test in Miss Oswald's room, and since he didn't study, he ended up not doing too good and failed the test. And this was like one of the first tests. Oh my gosh. He's like, oh my gosh. She says, you need to study. You need to study next time. And from now on, he tries to study as much as possible. But this Savage is just not Studier. I don't have time for that. I need to have time for the study. Me have time to be a savage and to be the Brotherhood leader and be Mr. Hunter on Tuesday, Wednesdays, and Thursdays. I don't have time for this. But he tries to make time next time, and he does fail, but he didn't do as horrible as he thought. He only got like a He thought he would get a 30% or 20%, but he got like a 50 something percent, 60%. So he didn't do awful, but he still did bad. But that's what the savage gets for not studying. And then um, he stays in resource with Miss Oswald. He just chills for the rest of the period, the whole period, watching TikTok, watching YouTube, having a good time. because he has nothing to do. And then he goes to U.S. history with Mr. Wild Village. They have their, which is wild. They have their lesson and then assignment, activity, whatever. And then the ritual. He does his little dancey dance. Um, and then the bell rings at 3:30. He goes home for the weekend and has a wonderful weekend. And thank God the weekend is here. Even though he failed a test, the weekend is still here and he's still gonna have a great time. And he's still a savage no matter what. And he'll do better next time. So there you go. And don't let your failures ruin you. You know, failures don't define you, they just make you stronger. And don't let it ruin your weekend either, folks. That's the life lesson. Alright, now we're gonna go forward a little bit to season 8, episode 42, Fun Day Friday 1. And I told you every Friday, Savage on Buck, and even Marathon Madness, we're gonna have in November, December for the holiday season, for the Christmas season. We're doing Fun Day Friday. So Fun Day Friday is very special, and I'll talk to you about it in a minute. So he gets breakfast. He goes to Hartman. It's another early childhood day. They have their lesson, and then they have activity, 20-minute break, and then they have another lesson, another activity, and then they prepare for the upcoming week. And they plan for their lesson plan. So they're really planning for their plans. Um, and then the bell rings. He goes to stay home, and he goes to lunch. Pizza Friday. Then he chit chats with the barhead, and it's Fun Day Friday. So it's the first one, and Hunter wants to try something different because usually he's a little bit uh, sassy, a little bit savage, a little bit crazy, wild. He wants it his way or the highway. He still does, but he's been a little bit wild, a little bit crazy with the Brotherhood members. And he thought, okay, we're friends at the end of the day. He wants to do something nice and something for the season. 'Tis the season. Um, so I'm gonna meet every Friday with the Brotherhood members when we chit chat about our weekend, chit chat about our day. Let's chit chat in general. I'm gonna be a little bit nice today. We're gonna be friendly today, and I'm not gonna have drama. We're not gonna have drama today, and I'm gonna say, and I give each of the Brotherhood members um, compliments today. So that's the first one. So the first one is compliments. Like other ones are like gifts and candy and other nice things like that. But today was just complimenting all the members on their outfits, their whatnot. We're just saying something nice or positive. Um, so it's Fun Day Friday. So and then he eats his pizza. They do their TikTok. They have a great time, and then they go to science with Mr. Mindock, Mr. Miller. Um, they do their bell work and then lesson and then activity. And then Algebra 2, luckily there's not a test this time, but it's a lesson and an activity, and then an assignment is assigned. And then resource, he gets, with Miss Oswald, he gets the assignment done. Um, Stressful, but he gets through it. And then he goes to U.S. history with Mr. Wild Winwood. It's wild, and they have their lesson and an activity. I think a weekly quiz or a test. He gets through it. He does his ritual, his dancing. And then the bell rings at 3:30, and he had a fantastic, friendly Friday. And now he's gonna have a wonderful weekend, and that is it. Now I'm gonna hope for Miracle Madness. Now I'm gonna have a wonderful weekend. And a fantastic Friday night. I hope that you have a fantastic Friday night and a wonderful weekend. May God bless and protect you all. And I'll see you next week for another round of episodes of Marathon Madness. I'll see you then. I'll see you Monday night. Behave yourselves. God bless you. And I'll talk to you next time. Bye for now.